town, Lucca Export was founded in 1977, thanks to the initiative of 10 young entrepreneurs who realised that foreign markets held the key to the future. With the aim of promoting local products, the association has always followed these basic ideas: to help small firms to present their products in difficult and far-off markets, assuming that small firms cannot do this alone; to cooperate with both public and private bodies, to support any promotional activity planned by the association in the interest of small firms and the growth of the economy in the province of Lucca; to support the associated members in the promotion and sale of their products, using the knowledge and experience of the Lucca Export staff. It also publishes a semestral magazine, Lucca Produce, which promotes the typical products of the province and sends it, free of charge, to over 6,500 trade operators in Italy and in the world. During the last few years, the activity of Lucca Export, developed in cooperation with the Lucca Chamber of Commerce, has been progressively growing with the aim of offering the associated firms a complete and qualified range of services. Lucca Export, together with the Chamber of Commerce, has been working for years with the help and support of two local banks, the Cassa di Risparmio di Lucca and the Banca del Monte.
The Cassa di Risparmio di Lucca, the Lucca Savings Bank, was founded in 1835 to encourage the local people to save, and with the aim of thus creating wealth to help the poorer community of the area. Today, the Cassa di Risparmio is a modern bank, intent on playing a leading role in the mediation of credit terms for Lucchese businessmen who are fast moving towards overseas markets. With their modern technology and highly qualified staff, they are well equipped to do the job. This interest has led to a long-standing collaboration with Lucca Export, working together for the social and economic development of the region.
Del Monte was founded in 1489 by the Franciscan friar Bernardino da Feltri and recently celebrated its 500th anniversary. Founded for charitable purposes, this bank has developed progressively over the years and nowadays, thanks to good management, is an important part of the economic and social structure of the province of Lucca. In its role as a local bank, it is also particularly interested in the development of trade in the region and has always shown great interest in the problems and needs of Lucca Export. Now let's go and visit some of our companies to see what they produce and how they produce it.
This form of craftsmanship is believed to date back to the 1300s and was initially inspired by religion. In that period, plaster statues of baby Jesus, also known as plasterines, were made in the convents. Although they are now manufactured elsewhere too, the place of origin can be determined in the town of Bagni di Lucca and the valley above it. The sculptor first forms the clay model from which a plaster cast mold is made. Wax is then poured into this mold and allowed to set. The sculptor then chisels and polishes the resulting wax figure. From this model, rubber molds will be made to use in the casting. The statues are made from 3 raw materials: plaster, alum, known as albastrite, and polyester, known as oxalite. The traditional technique uses plaster powder, which is mixed with water and immediately poured into rubber molds. The casting is made the jacket way for large objects, or full, which means filling the mold to capacity for smaller objects. After an initial natural drying stage, the object is removed from the mold, and after further drying, the various stages of finishing begin. The working of alum differs in the preparation of the material for the casting. The splinters of alum are melted and then rapidly poured into rubber molds. Once the alum statue is cleaned and polished, it doesn't necessarily need coloring. The most recent material used in the manufacture of figures is oxalite. The raw material is poured into silicone rubber molds, a material resistant to the elements which develop in the catalysis of the mixture. Once the object is removed from the mold, the finishing and decorative stages begin, and although they are carried out with different tools, they are common to all the raw materials. According to the substances which are added, the mixture may be of any color.
Another activity widespread in the Lucca area is the manufacture of picture and mirror frames, which are made from a variety of materials such as wood, polyurethane and plastic. The planks of wood are allowed to dry naturally and then heated to bring them to the optimal hygroscopic point. The planks are reduced to rough rods, which are then passed through the framing machine. With the shaped rod, the frame is assembled, varnished and finished off to a high standard by an artisan. In addition to varnishing, the frames may be finished with gilding or silvering. The other system of production varnishes and decorates the rods industrially. They are then cut and assembled to make finished frames. The working of polyurethane is completely different and is used for large frames. The polyurethane solidifies quickly in the moulds. Once the frame is removed from the mould, it is cleaned of any drips and sent for varnishing or gilding. For miniatures and picture frames, the frames are also made by the pressing of plastic materials. These frames are also varnished and finished off like wood or gilded to make them look antique and valuable.
ancient times, copper and brass have been used to manufacture domestic equipment, crockery and decorative objects. Although fashion has changed over the years and machinery has been developed, the tradition of metalwork has remained. The procedure starts with a circular disc which is pressed to make a mold. This is then shaped on a lathe where the steel matrix of the finished article has been mounted. The sheet can also be pressed onto a steel model known as a die in order to obtain figures in bas relief.
Basket making is a manual skill which has remained practically unchanged over the years. Young chestnut trees are cut when they are about 4 to 8 years old and left to dry in the open air for a month. Then they are dried in a wood-fired kiln and cooked in their own steam for about 2 hours. Once hot and humid but not scorched, they are passed through a simple machine which reduces them to smoking and flexible strips, ready to be woven.
Lacustrine and many typical Mediterranean flowers are used in this industry, as well as others from the tropics, Asia and South Africa. The plants are kept in special cells known as sulfurites, where they are protected from parasites. The procedure begins after preliminary bleaching with the coloring in various indelible shades. The next phase is the sterilization in sulfur baths that guarantees the preservation of the plants. After the plants have been thoroughly dried, any trimmings, such as glitter, can then be added. The finished flowers are then put together into a wide range of compositions.
Woodwork is a well-established tradition in the Lucca area. Sensitivity and experience are essential factors in both the appreciation of the natural qualities of the wood itself and the skill to maintain a high standard of workmanship in the finished articles. No machine can do this. The advent of machinery in this field has only accentuated the value of a skilled artisan. The decision to continue this work manually has been a deliberate one.
Manufacture of plastic objects, the raw materials used are polypropylene and polyethylene. The granules are loaded into the hopper and put into the plastification cylinder, where they are melted at a temperature of about 250 degrees Celsius and injected under pressure into the mold. The machines are operated by a computerized system which simultaneously controls the loading, pressure, temperature and cooling system. The mold is water-cooled and the drop in temperature makes the plastic harden, meaning that the object can be easily handled.
Italvetro produces heat-resistant glass for household appliances and any type of glass for lighting. The creative spirit of the firm's technical staff has revolutionized the conventional system of producing tempered glass, designing new futuristic machinery which is unique in the world and is surely one of the factors putting Italvetro at the forefront of this sector.
Years of research and a high level of competence in the design and production of electronic instruments have ensured this company a place on both the national and international markets. The company has rapidly risen to the position of world leader in the field of high-energy systems, able to offer any type of revelator. All the largest nuclear physics experiments in Europe and the USA have accepted and ratified these systems.
Now that you know what we do, let's talk about it.